All right, listeners, first and foremost, I'm going to forewarn you that this is being recorded a week before because two of us, myself and Alan, are going to be in Jamaica. So if you're wondering why we're not possibly talking about, we're not talking about the Ravens potentially being in the AFC Championship game, we don't know. Okay,
what a game!
What a game!
What a game! They beat the.
When they won and or lost too.
Beat the brakes off the Bills. Beat the brakes off those chumps. So that's, yes, I know we don't talk about sports a whole lot on this show. We do, I don't know, it kind of comes and goes, but that's why. Okay, I have a funny story to share with you guys, and I want you to tell me if it's, you both have been and are dog owners, and have lived with dogs in your life, yeah? All right.
Yeah.
So this past week, sleeping, I woke up because I was slightly uncomfortable. It's usually like my leg was in a certain position where I just needed to move it, I don't know, like a fucking 16th of an inch in order to get myself more comfortable. And I got myself in such a comfortable position. I was like, oh yeah, now I'm going to sleep really good. This is fucking perfect. And I sleep with a small electrical plug-in fan, small, probably like, I don't know, 3 inches in diameter that blows at me. And our dog sleeps next to me. And he uncorked. No, on the floor.
Okay.
But it's a raised bed. It's a huge box spring and a huge king-size mattress. So I almost had to kind of like do a little like little, not a jump, but a little hop to get up in there. I can kind of crawl up in there. But anyway, he uncorked an unholiest of unholy farts that went upwards and got caught, sucked into the fan. It was blowing in my mouth and in my fucking nose for 30 straight seconds. And I was too stubborn to move because I was like, this is the comfortable position. This is how I'm going to go to sleep.
You just pull
and I smelled this dog's
shit over your head, bro. Blanket. Yeah, that probably would work.
Dude,
no, it wouldn't. You just Dutch Underman yourself.
Well, no, because it's not in there.
A dog fart is everywhere. The dog fart is like the God particle. It permeates all things. It is everywhere all at once.
I would stop breathing with my nose for about 5 seconds. I'd breathe through my mouth, and then I had to know when it was done because I had to breathe through my nose in order to get comfortable to go back to sleep. And I'd smell, and it was like 45 seconds worth of like, oh, it's still there.
Just huffing. Oh,
it's still there. And I fucking, what a prick. What a little bastard. I don't know if he was sleeping or awake.
What, you think he had it out for you? I know what to do. I heard him, Chip. He put that little toe underneath that little wrinkle of that blanket. It's time to bust it.
I've watched him do things to my mom. I've watched the grunting. They're not exercising.
He did it my style.
That was named after my species.
That's mine.
No human. No human style. It was like, and I don't know, I guess, like, I could have rolled over, but in my stubborn way of getting good sleep and understanding, like, when I get comfortable in a position that I know is going to invoke, and I still, you know what, I'm stubborn enough to say it was still worth it. Because, like, as soon as the stench went away, less than a minute, I was asleep and fast asleep.
Look, the older I get and the less sleep I get, the more I am like, okay, I was a little drunk. Last podcast, a little drunk, go to bed. Oh, look at that.
Wait. 2 podcasts ago.
7 podcasts ago. So I'm in the bed and eating Doritos, right? And of course, you get a Dorito in a bed, you might as well fucking drop a ninja star on the fucking blanket. And I get, it's like it's digging into my rib cage, and I'm just like, no, that ain't moving. It'll go away. Either the pain will subside or it'll become part of me. So you just lay there. No, fuck that. And by the way, dog farts are the worst because think about what you feed your dog. That's just raw protein that they're breaking down, especially if you give a shit about your dog and you give them good fucking food. I give her the fucking, it's Caesar's, like wet food. Dude, I'll tell you what, if the apocalypse comes and we're out of food, I'm busting through a fucking box of Caesars. Some of that shit looks good. So that shit looks good.
So wait, this is
know
Cesar the
about
Dog
that.
Whisperer. His brand of food.
I don't think it's his brand.
No,
I just think
it's been around forever. It's got like a little Shih Tzu on it, don't it?
it's something like
I know,
that.
I know what you're talking about. Caesars. It's the
So
little
we have
square wet food joints.
You know when you see the Fancy Feast commercials come on, because I know you're more of a cat guy, Wes. You know the Fancy Feast? Like it looks
Yeah.
like gourmet cat food. This is like
Yeah.
the dog version of that. And
I
you
see.
pop some
It's
of
like-
them
I don't
open.
know.
It's like the white. Looks like
that's
a
weird.
white Cocker Spaniel or something on the front.
Yeah, whatever. Same shit. Fucking. I don't know, man, because we got these puppies. Actually, I can bring them on camera soon.
Chicken and liver.
But like, so I got 2 different kinds of wet food because the lady was feeding them wet food. They're now on dry food because fuck them. I actually am gonna start making. When we get back from vacation, I'm gonna start making ground turkey and white rice, and I think that's just what they're gonna be on. But fucking, there was wet food, and we had some Caesars, and they were basically just like fucking blocks of Spam. It didn't really look that good, but I did have the Beneful Incredibites, which were in like a little can, and I opened that up, and that shit looked like shredded chicken and like vegetables in some gravy, and I was like, now that in an apocalypse, maybe.
Alan, here's the thing though. Caesars
I
makes.
love Spam though, so who am I saying? I wouldn't eat a Caesar.
God,
You're right.
Isn't it fucking lovely.
See, I get her the variety box, and on the top of the variety box, there's like the Spam cartridges that you're talking about. That's like pate. But then when you get to the second level, it looks like when you get to the bottom level, it looks like lean cuisine when you open them up. And it smells fucking delightful. It's even got like some of like the little like the shell pastas in there and stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, it's
well, that's what I
fucking-
say. Like the Incredibites, I opened it up and there was like a whole ass pea, and I was like, "Well, I love peas. Like that'd be fine." Yeah. So yeah,
A little extra fun fact for
different
you.
food.
All dog food has to be human grade.
Well, that makes sense.
And because of that, during really dire economic times, you will see a spike in animal food. Basically, stock
Sales.
prices. Their sales go way the fuck up.
Yeah.
Wow,
that makes
people
sense.
buying like 15, 20-pound bags of that and nibbling on it. Yeah.
No, not the chow,
Well,
not the fucking
wet,
kibble.
The wet stuff.
The wet stuff.
wet stuff.
Oh, okay. So the dry nibble stuff doesn't have to be human grade.
It might be, but I just
I don't
I've tried to. I tried.
Put that in a bowl and put some milk on it.
some milk
Put some
on it.
milk on it. Yeah.
You
You better
will
put some
break-
water on that shit.
You
Or
will
a
break
beer.
all your molars trying to fucking jump through that shit.
Just pour
Yeah,
Bud
that's
Heavy
our-
on it. There.
Yeah. Our
dig
boy
it.
has to. It's like Rachel Ray's. There's 2 we can do. The one it's ground beef and something. Now that's the standard. That's the go-to. There is a lamb. We only certain or particular grocery stores have it, and some like it's not a common thing. But Sarah, if she sees it, gets it. And I'm telling you, like, it's like all hell breaks loose if he doesn't eat that, according to her. Like, well, his stomach is just so sensitive. I'm like, can we just like? I'm seeing the other brands, and it's the same. It's a knockoff brands. Like it's maybe it's Robbie Ray or Ricky Ray.
Ricky Bobby.
And
that's
she's
fair.
like, no, he'll know in his stomach. If you want to deal with his stomach, you can get it. And I'm like,
If you want him to fart into your fan at 3 a.m.
yeah,
We're very much not. We're very much not into like the fucking like fancy dog foods, but we got these bougie ass dogs, and I have a feeling our days of waffle fucking garbage disposal are behind us, and we're into fucking them eating better than me. Fucking so,
Dude, when I'm listening to a podcast and they do a farmer's dog read, I'm like, you're not getting me. But I kind of want
Right.
to see what it looks like.
yeah, and then they present to you like a steak and broccolini with fucking roasted potatoes for your dog, and you're like, damn. I want that. Yeah.
It's got to be refrigerated.
Yeah,
Like,
it comes in a refrigerated fucking case, like a Hello Fresh order.
Yeah, 100%, dude. And anytime I've watched Shark Tank, like they always say, like anything, if you can invent something for pets that pet owners will buy, they will buy it till the day that dog dies. It is like one of the number one markets for like innovative products. Look at this.
Oh,
little
there he
fucker.
is. Look at that. We heard.
God, is there
That
anything
is-
cuter than a
yeah.
fucking puppy? God damn.
This is Vanilli.
Hey,
Vanilli?
Vanilli.
Vanilli.
Oh, please tell me the other one is Millie.
Oh yeah, Millie's here somewhere.
Oh, Millie and Vanilli. That is so fucking awesome.
Millie squirms less.
They bark in
There's-
German.
They do. They do.
No, they kind of bark. It's like,
You can hear.
oh,
Oh my god, damn.
Yeah, that's
beautiful
Millie.
little things.
That's little Miss Millie.
Oh,
I'll put her down before she freaks
enjoy
out.
your lifetime of sinus problems.
Yeah, right. What's funny, the one, like, so Vanilli is kind of like the classically handsome French bulldog. Vanilli, go.
Come on.
Like
Vanilli,
like
get out of here.
Yeah, this is why we did it. We're like, we've been taking them down the hallway to get them used to like coming out and like, because they're little, like they're still like 11 weeks, so they're like new spaces. So we get them down the hallway, but it's just me and Kelly walking down the hallway and be like, Millie, Vanilli, come on, Millie, Vanilli, like just walking down the hallway. But yeah, he's kind of the classically handsome like French bulldog, like he's kind of picturesque, and she's like kind of wonky. She's got like little bug eyes, and her snout's a little smashed in a little bit more, so she just fucking snorts around. Just being a little pig, but they're both awesome.
Are they brother sister?
Yeah, they were brother and sister.
Oh my
Okay.
gosh.
Yeah.
Dude, we were at the zoo and we went past the wolves and William was like, "So how did wolves become dogs?" I was like, "Oh yeah. I've been waiting on this one." Oh, dude.
I've been waiting to talk to you about evolution. Here we
Oh
go.
oh my god, it was awesome, and he was acting it out. And again, he's 10 years old, so I was like, wolves were mad at us. He'd be like, "Rawr," and then I was like, and then we throw him some food, and, it was fucking, it was a 15-minute walk through the fucking zoo, just explaining.
It's like an automated book.
Yeah,
What's
but then, but he's like, but this is the best part. So once I explained how like we kind of domesticated him, he's like, "But how did a wolf become Duchess?" I'm like, "Oh, buckle up, son, because people are scumbags, and we like our dogs to look certain ways, and blah blah blah." Yeah, yeah. Oh, it was one of the great moments in like parenting. I've been waiting for him to be at an age where he can understand my fucking just complex ridiculousness and my dumbass ways of explaining things. It was great. It was awesome.
Nice.
Good for him. I hope he learned. I hope he
It
learned something.
Did not. Nothing.
Yeah.
None of it stuck. I confused him.
And then they did it doggy style. Arr! Arr! All right, folks, stick around. We're going to get our legal counsel on for asking for a friend. We got some hard-hitting legal questions, and he's going to stick around for Fun Fact Friday. We'll be right back after Murr says something about a warm, creamy chutney.
We need a new one of those.
Like a warm, creamy chutney. Get ready for another spoonful of the middle class holes.
And welcome back to the Middle Class Holes, Murr, Allen, and Fox. Man, and folks, it's that time of month, that time of the year. I don't know when the last time we had them on, but coming back to us from the great city known as New York City. I just Ron Burgundy myself there. Our legal counsel, our favorite lawyer, my cousin Vinny Adam. Thank you for joining.
Thank you for having me, fellas. Always a pleasure.
So Murr has some hard-hitting stories. We've shared these with Adam ahead of time so he can do his due diligence and not work while he's at work, but actually study these legal cases and these news stories to give us hard-hitting expertise, advice, and or what should happen. So Murr, this week in Asking for a Friend?
Yeah, and this one, I kind of had to pull this one away. We're still going to talk about it a little bit here, but I realized that these morons got themselves caught, so and pretty conclusively caught, by the way. So not really a whole lot to go back and forth on the legalities of it, but has to do. I gotta say, it was a good plan while it worked. It's just one of those instances where, thankfully, us as young men, I think, realized that if we pulled the same plan too many times, it wasn't going to work the last one. But 4 individuals were arrested on Wednesday for allegedly attempting to defraud their insurance companies by claiming a bear had damaged their vehicles, when in fact it was a person in a bear costume attacking the cars. The suspects claimed that on January 28th, a bear entered the... You in a restaurant, Adam? What are you doing? You got dishes going? Steam engine?
Jeez, you guys can hear that?
Oh.
That's like all big.
Yeah.
Can we hear it?
I mean, how big do you think my apartment is? I live in New York.
It's just hilarious how loud it actually is. But this is what happened.
You're a lawyer. 3,000 square feet. Easy.
They could actually hear that. They could hear the dishes.
Oh, we've heard it the whole time.
It's all right.
You've heard it the
Yeah.
whole time?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
As soon as I got on, I was like, hold on, which? And then I was like, oh, I know who
It was either dishes or she was playing with the steam engine.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, I guess they can hear that.
You're fine. You're fine.
It's all right.
All right,
But
no,
let
they
it
say
roll.
it's fine. They say it's fine. Let it roll. All right, we're going to let it roll.
Let it roll. Let it roll like
Okay.
these morons in a bear costume. They
All right.
said that the bear entered a 2010 Rolls-Royce Ghost and caused interior damage, according to the non-fictional Department of Insurance. They provided video footage of the incident, and upon reviewing the footage, the Department of Insurance said that it suspected fraud. Officials said that they believed right away that the bear in question was actually a person in a bear costume. They dubbed this whole thing Operation Bear Claw. They went back and learned that they had 3 other cars had been attacked by the same bear, apparently, in the same location. A 2015 Mercedes, a 2022 AMG, and another 2022 Mercedes. And apparently in all the incidences, there was video footage. This time, I guess they got a little suspicious, and they sent it to a third party, an actual animal person, animal biologist, and was like, yeah, that's totally a fucking bear in a costume. And what the best part is, they use those little claws that you put on when you do pulled pork. And that's what they use for the bear claws to create the scratching. So I guess, Mr. Calvert, is this a thing? Is this how most people get caught? They come up with a clever idea, the plan works a few times, and then they just overuse it, and then they get caught doing something like this? Because I'm actually shocked that they got away with it this many times with initial video footage on each claim.
Yeah, I mean, right, isn't that like every movie? Like, you guys have watched movies and television and read books and stuff, right? Like, that's how people get caught, right? Like
Entertainment
they
revenue.
they get greedy.
Right.
So, yeah, that's what, I mean, when insurance companies investigate fraud, or anybody investigates fraud, it's patterns, right? I mean, one time you can get away with something, but then your friend gets away with it, and your other friend does the same thing. Like, how's it? Because these people all knew each other, right? They made claims. When your friends are all doing it, they see you on Facebook and they see you're making the same claims, then that's how connections are drawn. Or you could just be a complete idiot and dress up in a bear costume like that. I mean, that's so bad. Like, how do you get away with that the first time?
Or the second,
first
or the
time.
third. They ended up raking out almost $142,000 from the insurance claims previous to that one. So, I mean, I guess it's one of those deals, though. If it's easy money, it's easy money. But those are some fancy cars to be parking in bear territory.
That's right. So you say, Adam, it's patterns, and it's almost like it starts with taking a price tag off of a T-shirt and replacing it with a cheaper one, and then getting greedy. But I digress. You said it was who coined it, Operation Bear Claw?
The Department of Insurance.
See, I was thinking it was the police, and I was thinking in my mind it was like a Who's the Man scenario where they're like, all right, Operation Bear Claw is in effect. Thank you, Jim, for the name. And then the department went ahead and forked out for bear claws. So go ahead and help yourselves in the back when this meeting's over. And the cops all went, yay!
So, pause.
Yeah.
What is this Department of Insurance?
That's a great question,
what?
Alan. I do not know. All I know is they sprung that one on me mid-article. According to the Department of Insurance is where it was first introduced to me. And I don't know what's more ridiculous, Operation Bear Claw or Department of Insurance. At least, you know what, from a government efficiency standpoint, I like it. I know exactly what it does. It's a department, and what do they do?
That's fair.
Insurance. That's their thing.
But Is this was this in the United States?
Yes, it was.
I mean, obviously, but all right. Just Department of Insurance threw me off. That's all. Nothing more.
Maybe soon to be formally the Department of Insurance. We don't know.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
another way?
It's possible.
after the
It's
last
possible.
several weeks, it is the California. It's in California because they
It
did
seems efficient.
state. Yeah.
They're fairly common. Yeah, I mean, insurance is a very regulated industry. I'm not trying to.
Yeah.
Thanks.
I'll leave it at that.
Yeah,
Before
I
everybody
would-
gets fucked. You mean to explain this to your listeners, the Department of Insurance, and how it works, and how it's all regulated?
No, I think we're good. I think
You want to lose everybody that listens to this show?
well,
You're in a surefire way for someone to stop listening to this episode.
But I was
got
gonna
you.
say-
I got your information.
if but can they? Okay, let's get to this though. What if they then provide evidence of an actual bear mauling a car in retrospect, and like, look, I'm telling you, it's the same bear. Like, if these guys become clever enough to say, oh, that must have been bad footage. Check out this angle, and they actually maybe spend some of their $142,000, have another car, have a bear actually come in and maul it, could they then go to court and be like, look, I'm telling you, it's the fucking bear? If they created new video evidence to supersede the old video evidence, do they have a case?
I mean, you would just look at the metadata on the video and realize it was created
Yeah.
at a different time.
Yeah, but they
The
did.
Department of Insurance would be on it like that.
But,
Yeah, the
but
Department-
my point is the Department of Insurance didn't.
Inspector from the Department of Insurance.
But my point is the Department of Insurance didn't catch on the first, the second, or the third time. It was not until the fourth time that they finally were like, "Can we see this? Let's send this off to a
Wow.
biologist to see if this is legit or not."
Okay, so it's the insurance company. So the problem is that you have claims to different insurance companies who aren't allowed to talk to each other
Oh.
necessarily and share their claims. And then the Department of Insurance is a state-run thing. So all these insurance companies have to report fraud to somewhere, a regulatory body that then goes investigates it. There we go. All right, I'm stopping right there.
I got you.
That's all.
Tell us more.
So all three of the so basically what probably happened was there was some Department of Insurance dinner party and they were like, listen to this, we had three guys, right, their car was mauled by a bear. Me too. When was yours? Last month. Huh? And then they all submitted to the Department of Insurance like, we think this is fraud. And then the Department of Insurance.
If this was a 1940s film noir movie, then yeah,
Which it
maybe.
is.
Because they actually do have like insurance investigators in those old movies all the time. That's kind of what these are. It still exists. That's what these people are. But no, it doesn't work like that. They're not at dinner talking about their. No, it's like one big insurance company reports a fraud, right? Or it's, hey, somebody in a bear suit, like maybe a bear suit, I don't know, messed up this car. And then some other insurance company reports that. And then the Department of Insurance is like, hey, hold on, two people. And then the third one finally does. And then somebody's finally on the case then, after the third one, right? Like, how many coincidences? And then Inspector Clouseau goes out there and investigates.
I should say I like the image of Columbo coming in and here's your check, boys. Hey, quick question for you. You guys ever make your own pulled pork sandwiches? My wife got me these little doohickeys. You put them on your hands. I don't know. You wouldn't have any of those lying around the house, would you? And then they just find the bear costume, fess up, and that's the end of the episode. But let's move on to Georgia, the great state of Georgia. Usually, states like Georgia have really, I don't know, we'll call them lax laws when it comes to people making decisions for their own families. But in this case, a mom has been arrested for reckless conduct. A mom in Georgia is speaking out about being arrested for reckless conduct after her 10-year-old son was found walking alone. Brittany Patterson, 41, was arrested by deputies on October the 30th after a witness reported a juvenile in the roadway who had gone into a nearby Dollar General store. Patterson's son, now 11, was later found by deputies around 1 mile from the family home. In the state, neglect by a parent can be defined as, quote, failure to provide a child with adequate supervision necessary for the child's well-being. The mom said, I was panicking and concerned because it's just a short walk from the house, but he knows how to get home. During the arrest, Patterson also told one of the deputies, last time I checked, it wasn't illegal for a kid to walk to the store. But the deputy replied, it is when they're 10 years old. So, is this a case-by-case thing? Is there a statute that says boy A or girl C must be this age to roam about the world all by their lonesome?
In some respects, but not exactly in that. Like in that situation, no. But in some situations, similar ones like DUIs, like I was looking up the DUI law, so this is a similar thing, right? To getting a DUI with a kid in the car, right? Letting your kid roam around out there, you're endangering the welfare of the child, right? So for your DUI, if the kid is under the age of 14, that's a crime. But I guess over it might be okay. I'm like, that's so weird. So there is an age cutoff there for that, which is odd. But for this specific situation, no. You have to take into account how old the kid is, what sort of danger he's exposed to. So that's how you do this analysis.
But see, I guess my problem is like this is like I'm just using generalized terms here, but this is like a nosy neighbor. Like I saw a boy walking alone on the streets, and
right.
And then they call the police, and then the police are like, "Yep, that's an arrest." Where the mom's like, "I don't know, man. Look, there's some kids that can, I don't know, become grandmasters at chess." And then there's some kids who can't wipe their own ass. And I just think there's two different things. And so if a kid is used to being able to walk to the Dollar General store a mile away, I mean, it's like what, maybe a 15-minute walk at 10 years old? What's the problem? I mean, can she fight this in court and be like, my kid's mature, he can walk? Or is this just a nope, this is a law that's broken, you're under arrest?
Didn't you say she was freaking out because she didn't know where he was?
She was freaking out, no, because the kid hadn't come home yet. The cops were arresting her before the kid got back. So she thought she was under arrest for because something happened. And then when they explained to her, it's like, no, he was walking alone. She's like, oh, I thought he could walk by himself to that store. I can see with my eyes.
She was
here.
You're like, you're under arrest because you're neglect for your kid. She's like, oh, that's cool because I definitely don't have drugs in the house. I'll tell you that. No drugs in here.
Well, and I would guess, like, I mean, it's all conditional, right? But I guess, like, how far is, like, not how far is it, but, like, what's that walk like? Is it my man walking on the shoulder of, like, a 2-lane road? Probably not the best idea. Seems kind of neglectful on the parent. You get what I'm saying? But if, like, there's fucking tree-lined sidewalks and fucking crosswalks and push buttons, then, fuck it.
Right?
Let the kid walk.
Okay, because...
Yeah. So, I guess, you just don't know what the situation was.
Let me ask you this, Adam. How do kids get to school in the city of New York?
I mean, on the subway, most of them.
By themselves, or are they accompanied?
Depends on the age and depends on where they're going, you know? I mean, that's exactly what we're talking about here, right? I mean, so there are some things I think we all agree is putting your kids' welfare at risk, like driving drunk with them, you know, things like that. And, but leaving them alone, it's like, what situation? Did you leave a 2-year-old alone with, you know, the door open? Or did you leave a 14-year-old alone, you know, with security alarm on? It's a big difference. So that's when you get into a 10-year-old, I mean, this is a more societal debate, really, than anything. Like, what we do with kids now and allow them to do is a lot different than what we grow up being allowed to do, right?
Yeah.
And that's what this all comes down to. The law comes down to what is reasonable. And that's something we as a society decide.
So is this a situation where, because the call was made, because I think people get it mixed up in their head, like what the police are there to actually do sometimes, which is where we kind of go down some bad dark alleys with the cops and the talk around cops. Like, the cops don't necessarily need to know the details. They said, we got a call. Did your kid walk to the store by themselves? Yes. Okay, you're under arrest. All of your excuses that you're going to make are now for the judge to hear, not me. My job is to handcuff you and take you in and write you up a citation, and then your day in court will come. And that's where maybe she gets off on this. So I guess my question to you would be, what's the likelihood that this woman has her record expunged and it's like, try to be a little more mindful. We don't allow that in the great state of yeah.
Well, I think they said that they would ask her to sign something to say that she would, like, put a tracker on her kid's phone. And she was like, no, because I'm not doing that, because that would be admitting that I did something wrong. And, you know, letting my kid walk a mile to the store is not wrong. You should be allowed to do that. So I don't know. I think they should drop it personally, because it's in that middle ground. I mean, just
So let me ask you this: what do you deem, you personally, and someone who knows the law and is a professional, deem that middle ground? Is it age and distance?
yeah, and what sort of like familiarity and neighborhood,
Okay.
right? Safety regulations, like what's the traffic like Alan was saying, like 2-lane road,
Sure.
sidewalk, like that sort of stuff. Yeah, all those things come into play, and I think what this case shows is just where the societal line is moved. Because to your point, Mur, like there is discretion, right? Just because somebody calls the cops on somebody doesn't mean the cops have to do anything, right? You can call the cops and say, "Oh, my neighbor's being really loud," and they can come over there and tell the neighbor, "Hey, be quiet." They can write him a noise violation. They can get over there and say, "It's not that loud. I'm going to leave," right? Like they have discretion. So the fact that the cops just said, "All right, we're going to arrest this woman," just shows how far that line has moved to say, "All right, we've got grounds to arrest her on this."
Well, I mean, I guess
Right.
it depends on how the law's written. Because I mean, and honestly, this is why I was kind of baffled by this one. Because when I was a kid, we used to ride our bikes, and Adam knows that Wes knows the path too. From my house all the way to downtown Conowingo, where the post office is, because there used to be a little store there. We'd go, we'd get some popsicles in the middle of summer, we'd eat them, and then we'd ride all the way back. That's got to be 5 miles, easy, on no shoulder, 2-lane, fucking death road. And
Yeah.
we
And hold on real quick.
Yeah.
Alan, for your reference, downtown Conowingo is like 6 buildings. Just wanted to.
no,
paint
it's,
a
I
picture for
would
you.
have guessed like 4, but that's fine.
I would guess that it was probably 2 at the time. So
I mean, there is no downtown Conowingo, right?
I mean,
It's where Route 1 meets Rolandsville Road.
I mean,
that's
that's
like a Conowingo
considered
pizza.
down-
And
Oh my gosh! Wow, I can consider. I didn't actually know that. Wow.
from my perspective, there is a downtown Conowingo because I make sure I remind people that I don't live in downtown Conowingo. That I live on the outskirts of Conowingo. It's a little more pleasant.
There's a distinction.
Yeah, a little less bikery, okay, a little less addicted, if you will. So I always make that distinction. I guess what the point is, though, back then, the cops drove past us. They didn't even stop. They didn't wave. They probably sped up. They didn't care. We would hang out on the side of the bridge where there was a gorge that fell like, 150 feet where the train tracks used to be. We would play there. No one cared. That was neglect.
And if you were biking with the helmet on, the cop would stop. You're like, "Hey, what are you? You one of them retard kids? One of them retard things or something?"
You shouldn't be out here with that helmet if you are.
You don't even have training wheels.
God. So yeah, no, it's an odd thing, and it is situational because it's like, okay, William, I would not let my son because he's just not built for it. He's just not.
guy.
I'd let him set up my Wi-Fi over my dad, but I wouldn't let him walk to the store by himself. So there's kids are, but again, this is Georgia. This is the South. Things are done differently down there. I think the kids probably made that journey 1,000 times, and some do-gooder neighbor decided it was her turn to finally fucking get her gold star of approval by the local PD, and that's why she picked up that old.
Maybe there was some background to this. Maybe that kid had done something to her, ding dong ditch, or stole something off her front porch or something. She was like, I know the law. I know that he's breaking the law when he goes to that store. Next time he goes, I'm fucking calling the police.
And you're not wrong.
Or there's probably, this might have been left out, but sassy Southern lady whose kid she's been letting walk to the store. Now the cops show up. She probably gave him some lip, and that's why she got arrested. You know what I mean?
point.
Yeah.
It was probably totally cool. Like Mur said, there was discretion. The cops were like, "Oh, fucking, it's fine. Fucking Cletus can walk to the fucking store whenever he wants." And then she was like, "Get the fuck out of here, pig!" And fucking boom, there you go, done, jail time. That's how that shit happens in trailer parks.
Shit, I sit him down there for a pound of pork. Looks like he came back with about, 220?
Yeah,
asshole.
see, and then boom, she gets fucking nightstick.
Now that's a good question too, right? Like, should it matter? All these other factors we're talking about, right? Should it matter what she sent him to the store for? Like if she sent him for a pack of smokes versus,
good
to get milk and bread, right?
Yeah.
Well, that would be genuinely illegal at that point, right?
Okay,
Like
okay,
the
not pack of
the
smokes.
exchange of
Now
money
we're going back to
for
Argentina.
smokes. Yeah.
These are for my mom. Oh yeah, cool. Don't worry about it.
Yeah. That day is going everywhere. But
That
all right,
day,
let's say she sent him for Sour Patch Kids versus
Bread.
bread.
Well, then I guess
That's fair.
situationally, then I guess you pretend you've got some sort of neurological disorder, and I can't make the journey, officer. I had to send Billy. Billy made the journey for me to the Dollar General.
I'm diabetic. My feet don't even work. I need those Sour Patch Kids to get my blood sugar right.
Well, yeah, but you're right. They did ask if she would be willing to put a GPS tracker on him, and she said no, because then she feels like she'd be admitting she did something wrong. So we'll wait. We'll see if we can have a follow-up to that one.
Real quick, hold on. I want to say, sometimes when when I was extracting from that her thing about admitting that she did something wrong, it's like, it's just, the law was broken. Your opinion on whether or not you broke the law is irrelevant.
Well,
I'm not doing that because then I admit that I did something wrong. I didn't do anything wrong. Well, the lawmakers said otherwise. Now, ethically or morally, do I think it was wrong? Fuck no. No. God, my parents sent me fucking to do shit everywhere, all over Perryville. And I biked miles away from where I grew up, lived.
Well, the problem I have with what you're saying, Wes, though, is I don't like when laws are written to be subjective, because then you can charge anybody with anything anytime. Because then, what if he's out in the front yard and he found the vintage lawn darts? Is that now child neglect? Maybe that is actually. I should.
Might be, as a matter of fact.
I should walk that back. Like walking the dog. Like if it's a pit bull, pit bulls are dangerous animals. You should. But if he's walking a chihuahua, that's fine. I don't like where there's this really open interpretation to something like you're charged with child neglect because you let him go do something that he's done 100 times before and just happened to get caught this time. And, write the law. No children under the age of XYZ shall be within this vicinity of a parent, and it will be deemed child neglect. It's got to be written in a way.
Sounds a whole lot like an expansion of government from you there, Mer.
No, this is an expansion of government. This is a blank.
Is it?
Yeah, because it's a blank. It's a blank ticket to write you up for whatever they think is neglectful to the child.
Or does it allow you to plead your case in the court of law?
Or you define what the case I would need the pleading is, so I don't have to come up with some whimsical. Fuck you, Alan. I see you. I know.
Feels a lot like overreach. Is all I'm
when
saying.
you do this, that's when
all
I know
I'm
you're
saying.
I know you're fucking with me when this look comes out.
That's all I'm
Yeah,
saying. But
it's
it just feels like overreach. Is all I'm saying.
Alan does
Feels
have
like
this
overreach to
distinct-
me.
Alan does have this distinct look where he looks like Popeye just ate spinach. It's like, oh. All right, what's the next
Okay,
story?
the next one is this is one that our legal counsel himself wanted to chat about. This comes down to Lil Durk. Now, I'm not familiar with Lil Durk's
Durky?
art. But and this is a long story, so I'm probably gonna wrap it up quick and let Adam summarize it for us. But Lil Durk's gritty raps about Chicago's street violence turned him into a chart-topping superstar. But the feds are now trying to use some of those lyrics to prove that he orchestrated a deadly plot to kill a rival in Los Angeles. Experts and civil libertarians say that the strategy is part of an alarming trend playing out in courtrooms across the country that undermines free speech and stigmatizes one of America's most popular art forms. Quote, a criminal proceeding, whether it's about detaining someone or about their ultimate conviction, is really about something that someone else is... Oh, I'm not reading all this shit. So basically, they're trying to use Lil Durk's lyrics against him in a court of law and using this as, a confession to crimes that he may or may not have committed, Adam? And so he's going to have to defend himself based on song lyrics that he rapped?
Yeah. So, I mean, this is a few cases like this, right? So, there's this Lil Durk one, and he's being charged with certain crimes, and he rapped, and his lyrics are very similar to those crimes, right? Should you be able to use those lyrics in court against him, right? There's another case that is really similar. It was one of the guys from when did you see that got killed?
Jam Master Jay.
No, it was the Jam Master Jay. Yeah, right,
Yeah.
exactly. So that one, the guy who was accused of killing him rapped about shooting somebody in the head the exact same way in did a video of that song in front of a mural of Jam Master Jay.
Jam Master Jay.
Right? So it's like I fucking shot him, like boom, 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 like right there.
Jam Master Jay was shot up 4 years ago. Guess what? I wasn't there.
Right. And
Tell you that.
Just kidding.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
Yeah. I mean, that's basically what he said. He's like, I fucking shot that. You might as well have said that in the song, right? You might as well have. You do a song about, shooting somebody in the way that guy in the picture right behind you got shot. And then somebody else testified to it. So he obviously did it. But the point is, those lyrics did not come into court. You could not use that one. But the Little Durk situation, which is just general gangster shit that all rappers say, actually came into court. And that's because of there's a few reasons behind that, but it's a weird situation, right? There's laws being passed now that say that you can't use rap lyrics at all in court. So that's why I brought it up. I mean,
well, yeah.
Should you be able to just say whatever, even if it's completely obvious? Like OJ's book, I did it, right? Imagine if he had wrote that book before the murder trial was over.
Yeah.
Well, you're missing the.
And you're like, no, you can't use the book.
You got to remember,
trial.
in very tiny letters, it said "if I did it." That was the proper title of the book. Okay, if I did it. Yeah.
Yeah.
But here's the thing, though. Okay, now I know it's quote-unquote circumstantial evidence, like rap lyrics, but if the details of the lyrics are really close to the actual crime that was committed, yeah, it's circumstantial, but couldn't you try to use them to sway the jury to say, like, look, this son of a bitch, basically says he did exactly what we said he did. He's going to claim he's an artist and that this is expression of free speech, but to us, the prosecutors, it really sounds like an admittance of guilt. It sounds like a confession to us, but that's up for your decision. That's for you to decide. Could they do that, though? Is that admissible? Is that something that a tactic a lawyer might use in a trial case like this?
I mean, as soon as that lawyer did the thing you just did, they would throw his ass in jail for contempt right there. All right, so that's number one. But the question
I have
is
Tourette's, goddammit.
the question is whether or not the jury should even be able to hear that. Because, right, if you hear somebody's confession, right, which is what those lyrics really are, what you're saying they are, right, is that's so prejudicial, right? So a jury's going to just latch on to that. So that's what the question is, whether the jury should even be allowed to hear it in the first place, right? Because the idea is once something like that's in, it's over, right?
Yeah.
But should you allow even general? Should you even allow general stuff?
Well,
right?
But see, if I was his attorney, I would come back and say, okay, I hear what this man just said about my client and his rap lyrics, but I'll give you some examples, some other rappers out there, someone who's a true animal. Sean Combs, better known as P. Diddy or Puff Daddy. Lil Durk, his real name is Dirk Banks. Mr. Banks is hiding nothing. He calls himself Lil Durk. His name is Dirk. He's not trying to fleece you. He's not trying to get the wool over your eyes. Lil Durk is Dirk. He's an honest man. He did not commit these crimes.
Yeah, I think this is just a clear case of stupidity. Kind of what you alluded to, Adam, about this guy behind me in this in this mural definitely shot him. Mm-hmm. Not but I don't know. What do you get? A lot of them brag about slanging some pretty substantial amounts of drugs, either be crack rock or coke or heroin. I mean, is that grounds for you to then investigate their lives to see if they're actually doing said things?
Well, I don't know. To investigate, I mean, you can investigate anybody.
You can investigate whatever. Yeah.
You can
I'm
investigate
investigating
anybody,
you three all right now.
Well,
police officer.
That's fair.
Well, like Willie Nelson, well known for smoking pot, like he said he had to send 2 tour buses out because his would always get raided. So he'd have one bus that had all the drugs on it, and then he'd have a bus with him and his group on it. So, you know, yes, they do become suspicious of you when you talk about openly doing things that you openly do. So, but see, here's the thing, Adam. Where do you stand on this? Are you saying like bullshit? They shouldn't bring those into court, or are you saying like, I mean, if they fit the crime, they should be admitted into evidence? Because you're using the Jam Master Jay one as a, I don't know. I guess what I'm getting at is it doesn't seem like you're helping your case by saying like this guy literally said, "I shot that guy in the picture behind me, boom, boom, cap, cap," and then if that's kind of a confession. Then,
Boom, boom, cap, cap, shaw, shaw.
Case closed. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, it sounds like you're kind of advocating in one stance and not in the other.
Yeah, you know, I'm conflicted about it because, like, I feel like that something like the Jam Master Jay one should come in, right? I mean, if you were going to be specific, right? I mean, here's the weird part. All right, so the law out there, let's say the general law, like across the country, right, or take a sample, is that in order for the lyric to be heard by the jury, it has to be specific, like the Jam Master Jay thing, and it fit the crime, right? Facts match up, all that stuff, right?
If the lyric don't fit, you must have quit. There it is, man. Put me on there.
But the weird thing is that one did not come in because, well, there's law in New York and California that say that no rap lyrics can be used in court, period, right? End of discussion. Doesn't matter.
Is it
It's
just rap
specific to
lyrics
the
or is
crime.
it like music lyrics, period?
Any music lyrics?
I would
My
think
guess would be it's all
I'm just
music.
interested. Yeah.
Yeah,
I actually think it got started because of rap lyrics.
Well,
I
yeah,
think
that
the bill
makes-
is actually
that makes
called that, but
sense.
I assume that the bill encompasses
Yeah.
any sort of music.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, every rose has its thorn is obviously a metaphor for
I
poisoning
was just
people.
curious. Well, like
Killing
you know,
them.
like Johnny Cash had a number of fucking songs where I'm like, you definitely did that. Like,
Yeah.
that's not. We're not even questioning that one.
All right. Now, this might be omitting some other pertinent information, but my eyes caught this. An FBI agent said Lil Durk had recorded another song celebrating that deadly shooting, which happened on Chicago's far side of Chicago in 2022. Quote, "My brother D-Thang just got killed, and I've been slow since, but we got back on they ass. I bet they know this." So basically, if there was something that happened in like January to March of 2022 to the people, he's literally saying in the song, like, they killed my brother. I just said what his name is. And we just went and shot the people who did that thing to my brother D-Thang. Like, it sounds like he's kind of saying, like, yeah, we did that shit. And so
Yeah, but it's a little vague.
it
You know
is
what I mean?
vague.
Like,
You still got to get a weapon. I still think you got to get him at the scene. But I think
Yeah.
if you got a jury and they're deliberating, like, you think he did it, yes or no? I mean, if I'm an attorney, I want those rap lyrics in the court.
As
Yeah.
evidence, yeah.
So this is a weird part into all this too, is that so the jury's going to hear that in this case, right? They're going to hear those lyrics, but the case, what he's being charged with, is conspiracy, right? He's being charged with being part of a gang, right? So a gang situation is all about working as a unit, right? You have to show
is
interconnections
this a Rico?
between
Is this a Rico case?
yeah, exactly. Same sort of idea, right? So, what you show is the general conspiracy. It's a proclivity
Yeah.
to kill people, deal in drugs, right? All this stuff. So, generalized lyrics, or even like non-specific lyrics about
That
like,
could
he,
work.
Didn't say, he didn't say he killed him. He said
Yeah.
we got him
Yeah,
back.
yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
As an
Us.
organized unit, yeah.
So that's why it comes in this case, even though generalized stuff, and in the Lil Durk case too, like other lyrics come in that just say like, we even more general, like we get money, we kill motherfuckers, like I don't know specifics,
Yeah.
but it's just so
Yeah.
general. And then the judge is going to instruct on the specific one that you mentioned, Murr. The judge is going to read a charge to the jury at the end that's going to say, hey, you know how they read that lyric about how he they shot that guy, and it was really specific. Like, he even like named the fucking date, you know, right? It matches up perfectly. Well, you know, you just only consider that for the general conspiracy. You can't consider that for whether or not that he actually killed him. I know he said like I killed him, but like, you know, ignore that part. Just think about how it's all part of the general conspiracy.
Yeah.
A judge is going to instruct the jury to do that. And that's really weird too, right? Like,
Yeah.
But if
That's
you have
hard.
a specific one that comes in or does not come in the Jam Master Jay thing. Right?
I just fear that, like,
Weird.
when the jury sits back and they're deliberating and they're listening to all Lil Durk's music, they just end up having like an argument about like who the best rappers are. Yo, put on.
If you've never heard Lil Durk's music, there won't be that argument. I promise you.
Yeah, he's guilty of being a shitty rapper.
Yeah, he's
But a good shot.
There was like a year. There was like a year that I think like the music industry wanted him to pop, and they put him on like every big rapper's fucking like hit single, and he was the wasted verse. Like you were just like, Jesus Christ, this guy's at the end. All right, moving on. Like, yeah, he's terrible.
Well, you know, I know what you're saying because, look, I got to admit, I got a soft spot for some Dua Lipa. And before she went off, like, she did Levitating, right? And they put Lil Baby on there. And Lil Baby was a lot bigger than Dua Lipa at the time.
Is it Lil Baby or Da Baby?
It's a
They're
baby
different.
of some kind, but he's
Okay.
he's actually a grown black man. And
They
well,
say more like a
yes,
toddler
yes.
now.
but see, then
Yeah.
so he was here and she was here, and then immediately it went like this, and now they have since scrubbed him from the song. So his entire verse
Yeah.
is gone now.
Oh, that's Da Baby. He also, I believe, murderer.
Okay.
But that's neither here nor there. You know what I mean?
Well, his victim's levitating.
Yeah, I get that. I get down with a little bit of the baby, but fairly certain he's a murderer.
Well,
You know why all these young rappers, I think, are murdering people is because they're allowed to walk to the store
by themselves.
by themselves.
probably
at 10.
true.
So all these littles and all these babies are murdering people.
yeah,
They're just-
zero
they're left-
fucking
they're
side,
left on their
no
own.
sidewalks, no sidewalks, no crosswalks. It's fucking Wild West.
I always thought they just traveled with their G unit. I'm sorry. All right. And finally, we've been
It's the
sitting on
whitest
this
shit I've
one.
ever heard.
We've been sitting on this one for a while. Wes loves this story, and he should. And we want to see where this one goes. I'm just going to read the entire thing. No edits, no highlights. Fast and Furious. Driver dressed as Cookie Monster caught speeding in Germany. If caught, the suspect would face a fine of $44. I would just fess up for $44, for God's sake. If Cookie Monster was on his way to get some sweet treats, he was in way too much of a hurry. The suspect, dressed as the Sesame Street character, was traveling about 7 miles over the speed limit. Good God, Germany. And this was back in September. Quote, "The fun of wearing a mask from the Muppet Show can quickly turn serious," said the police. "The costume severely limits the field of vision and therefore significantly increases the risk of an accident. The consequences of such a serious accident caused in this way can be much more serious than the fine." The car is registered to a 57-year-old man. Police have said if caught, the suspect would face a $44 fine. Quote, "It won't help the relatives of someone who was killed if the person responsible tearfully regrets the fun of wearing a mask and caught." Are you allowed to wear a mask while driving a car? Is that against the law? They obviously know who this guy is, so why don't they just go fucking grab him? I know this is Germany. Maybe there's different laws here. He did not rap about it in any children's songs, to my knowledge.
Cookie speed! Ha! That was the lyric.
Me no pay fine, nom nom nom.
I'll get the papers. Yum 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 yum.
But on a serious note, can you wear a mask and drive a car and still be legal? Like if I'm driving on 95 and I want to put on a Daredevil mask and just like, which is actually funny because Daredevil's blind, which actually makes it a double joke. Is that a problem?
Yeah, I mean, yeah. I mean, could you drive blind? How about you blindfold yourself? I mean,
No, not blindfold. I mean,
it's-
you've got eye holds.
you know what?
Like,
I
are
guess it
you
would
talking
depend.
solely from like a hiding your face perspective? Is that what the question is?
Yes.
Ooh.
Oh.
Okay. So now
I
here's the
don't.
question.
I don't think
right?
so. Right? Yeah.
Are you more worried about the hiding in your face, or are you worried about the not being able to see, or both? Is that what you're asking?
I guess I'm getting at if I'm wearing the mask, I feel I can comfortably see, or I wouldn't be wearing the mask. It feels as though they're more aggravated that this person has concealed his identity, because then they can't prove that it was him speeding in the car. So let's just kind of take the story, throw it away, repackage it, and say, are you allowed to shield your face when you drive? Because I know of a certain grouping of people that seem to think it's okay, but then again, they don't let the women drive. So there is that. But can you shield your face? Are you allowed to conceal your identity while behind the wheel of an automobile?
It is. I mean, it is allowed. Yeah. I mean, as long as it doesn't impact your driving ability, you can wear what you like. This is the U.S. I mean, this is a general overview, right? So.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, as long as it doesn't affect your driving ability. Right now, this week you could get pulled over and then you get in an argument. Oh well, I can see fine on this Cookie Monster mask, right? And the officer puts it on his head. No way! And I mean, you get into a debate, right? Of like, what's you got to go in front of the judge, and he's got to put the fucking thing on, right? Everybody's got to see if it's reasonable. Right? That's so. Daredevil mask. I don't know. I mean, like, I had a Spider-Man mask. I could a little while back. I couldn't see that great out of it. Like, I don't think I should have been driving with that thing on.
Okay, well then I know this one isn't as funny, but like if you wore a motorcycle helmet on a motorcycle, that's by law you have to have that on. But if I wear a motorcycle helmet while driving a car, how can that be illegal?
That's not illegal.
Okay.
A motorcycle helmet. How does that cover your vision?
No, because
So okay, hold on. I think we're getting.
No,
I think we're arguing on two different fronts.
Okay.
But I think that the base of
the
this
fuck
is
up,
that. Yeah, I know. Well, by the way, we're gonna. We could use this against you in the court of law that you said you drove with a Spider-Man mask on.
Yeah,
you said
true.
it.
No. I said I could not have driven with that Spider-Man mask on.
Gotcha. Fair enough. Is that concealing your identity while getting caught by speed cameras?
Yeah.
So that way they can't figure out if it was you driving said vehicle.
Well, for speed cameras, so this is the distinction, right? Because speed cameras care about getting the car. Like, this is a big thing here in the city now because they just have this congestion pricing, right? So people are trying to cover their plates so that they can get through the cameras where they do the congestion pricing, the tolls, right? So they have these ghost plates and ghost cars and things like that. They're cracking down on it. So that's what they care about as far as ticketing traffic offenses, right?
Okay.
But then also the fact if you can't see, right, then that's like driving drunk in some ways. Right? So there's both things, I guess, going on.
Yeah, I guess you could say that's driving impaired, but I mean, again, I don't feel like if I'm going to drive with something on, I'm going to know I can see out of it or not. Like, I'm not going to be a twat to myself. Like, that's just dumb. I'm not trying to run over anything. So I just feel like if you're wearing a Cookie Monster costume, you can probably see out the Cookie Monster costume.
No, but like, what if you're like, I don't know, like, I mean, it does impair your vision. Have you guys ever been in one of those things?
Have you seen
Cookie Monster's costume?
Like, have you seen like,
so.
have you ever been in one of those like Cookie Monster type heads or something like that?
Yeah.
You should not be driving with that on.
Listen.
That's fair.
Take it off. Like
that technology.
Like, oh, I woke up with my sleep mask on. I'm too lazy to take it off. Let me just get in the car and drive to work. I've done it a million times.
I'm telling you, that technology has come a long way.
Just take the goddamn thing off.
William had a Bowser mask this last Halloween, and if you look at it from the front, you can't see through, but it's got those little. You know what it is? You know when you see like I don't know, like a plumber's truck, and he has his advertisement on the back windshield, the back window. And you can't see through it, but it's got those little dots all over it. Now, if you're inside the truck and you look back, you can see out just fine. But you cannot see into the cab of that car. That's the way these masks are made now. You can't see through them, but you can see out of them perfectly. So I'm just saying, if you can conceal your identity, bravo. The laws are still working in some cases, because I shouldn't have to let you know who the fuck I am.
I think this is the distinction between Germany and the U.S., right?
Yeah.
Because like over there,
Yeah,
you're just
7 miles an hour
do
seems
that.
a bit.
Yeah.
Well, the distinction between Germany and the U.S. is they're like, this car was registered to Hans Gruber, but we could not see his face, which is fucked up. You should not be allowed to wear the You should be ashamed of yourself for wearing Cookie Monster outfit. Like, it almost sounds like they can't give him the ticket because they can't prove it was him because he was wearing a Cookie Monster face. It's the dumbest fucking story I've ever read.
They've got the license plate. That's
I
not
know.
why they're
Yeah.
doing.
But they're saying they
know
still
who
can't
he
give.
is.
They know who the card's registered to, but because he keeps wearing the
Right.
Cookie Monster outfit, they won't ticket him because they can't prove it's him. That's awesome.
Okay.
That's awesome.
Okay.
I applaud them. Well done, Germany. It's the only
The
thing
cookie
you've done.
store was about to close.
That's right.
I mean, he had 5 minutes to. He was doing 7 over. Real speed demon out in Germany. What a fucking 7 over.
They're real finicky
they
about
need to-
certain things, right? but other things, they're willing to let them slide a little bit.
Perhaps they have some guilt about that whole World War II Holocaust thing, but they tighten the screws where they can. There's still some lingering dictatorship going on.
So, all right. So get your Cookie Monster outfit, put your little Dirk CD in, get your Ford Fiesta 7 miles over, and just have a good old fucking time. And
Don't forget those claws that shreds pork and
That's
chicken.
right.
Get you some. I own those. They're
I
great.
do too. They're fucking awesome, man. You got those things, Adam?
No.
Oh. I know space is a commodity in New York City, and whether or not you do a lot of like pulled pork or chicken or something like that, if you can find a little room, they're probably $10-$20. They're worth their weight in gold.
Dude, they're worth walking around your apartment pretending you're fucking Wolverine.
That's it. Dress up as Wolverine and speed.
There.
Have the claws like. Rawr.
And that is asking for a friend.
All right. Well, Adam, appreciate it. We're going to have you stick around for Fun Fact Friday. Murr's got a book that a coworker gave him. And the thing of it was we were getting a lot of recycled facts with the OMG Fun Facts. It's like 2 years or 3 years down the road, we're like, wait a minute. I'm pretty sure I did this. We're pretty sure that this book is chock full of fresh facts that we haven't ever hashed out.
So let's get to
I
it.
suspect. I don't know. It's mid-January.
Oh, no.
It's got a long way to go.
This book was created by a meth head in Georgia, in downtown Conowingo, who perused through a Ripley's Believe It or Not and put some really bizarre... You'll see what I'm talking about. Let's get to it. 5 fun facts for you fuckers on a Friday. Brought to you, of course, by our good friend, the Cuckster. It's a shame because the Cuckster just found his way over to TikTok. And, that's all I can say about it. So find him on Instagram. It's Cuckster for Life. Cuckster for Life on Instagram. So here it is. Ripley's Believe It or Not. Time, warp. Your Fun Fact Friday. Did you know the Universal Credit Card came before the plastic hula hoop? The credit card was invented in 1950. The hula hoop, 1958.
Nope. Didn't know that.
God, I had thought the hula hoop was ancient. Maybe maybe it's not the hula hoop that we know, but something similar.
They used to hit it with a stick and roll it down the street. And then some fucking like islander was like, "Watch this."
Well,
And
it wasn't-
fucking
it-
the
that's
game
exactly
changed.
Alan, it wasn't until Herbert Hudsucker put that fucker over his waist and was
Yeah.
like, "Would you look at this?"
A Long
Would you
Islander
look
is
at
what I
this?
meant. Yeah, a Long Islander put it around his waist and was
Is that
like,
that
boom.
movie, The Hudsucker Proxy? Is that what that is? That is a great fucking film, dude. Tim Robbins. It's weird. It's that is the definition of irreverent. I don't even know if you make a movie like that anymore. What's the premise? Well, some guy in the mailroom invents the hula hoop. I like it. Here's $50 million. Let's get started.
Wait, I feel like maybe I haven't seen that movie. His character invents the hula hoop.
Yes, that's basically it. It's like the man who knew too little, and he becomes like the head cheese, and he's a moron because he fucking put a plastic hoop around somebody's waist and made a multi-billion-dollar company out of it.
Fair enough.
Yeah, check that fucker out.
I wonder what the first Universal credit card looked like. Do you think it was like a poster board?
Well, what would it matter? I mean, it's just a piece of plastic with numbers written on it, right? They didn't have they couldn't have had magnetic strips back then. What would you run them through?
They ran them through the
The
remember?
Micker. The Micker thing.
Yeah, I know, but then you mailed. That's what I'm saying though. But then you mailed. I listen, when I first started working at the gas station on I-95 back in 1998, that's still how we did the credit cards. And then you had to like punch the numbers in through like a dial-up, like fax machine almost kind of thing, because it wasn't I guess it was the internet, but it wasn't the internet. It was literally just a touch tone coding process, and you'd punch those fuckers in, and that's how you got your monies. So there you go. What does the hula have to do with a credit card? Not a goddamn clue. Did you know the ATM came before the debit card?
Is this, are we on like did you know finances? Did you know American currency things? The ATM became before the debit card.
Again, and this is Ripley's time. Warp.
So, what did you take to the ATM? Like, how did you just show up and you're like, hey, give me some money. I got nothing to pull it from. How does that work?
I have no idea. Maybe you could get your literal, like maybe you took a check with an actual amount that you wrote on it, and then when you put
hold on
the
one
check
second.
in,
I was going to say, Alan's usually our fact checker on this. Alan, how did first generation ATMs function without?
I'm actually I'm checking that out actually.
I'm going to
check
check
things
so the
seems
first,
reasonable.
Yeah.
First debit card was 1966. The first ATM was 1960. So I don't really get it. There's a lot of words here that I got to read quickly. So
I feel
guys talk amongst yourselves.
I feel like they were probably just more trusting back then, right? Like the whole credit card thing.
Yeah.
Right. Oh, we'll just mail it in and you're good. Like we'll charge you. Right. Like, here's some money. You know, you send us the check. We'll put it on your account. Your credit you. You know.
Well, so 3 years later, they developed the debit card, and my guess is because for 3 years banks were getting raked over, getting fucking robbed hand over foot, and they're like, "Fuck it, we got to do something."
Yeah, look at all these IOUs.
This one's for the Ferrari. That's a big one.
Yeah.
Well, no, I mean, yeah, because, I mean, eventually they would track you down and catch you. It was a smaller world back then. Because what was that weird thing that they were just trying to do with, like, Chase Bank recently? It was like you overdraft your account, and they were like, yeah, you get free money if you do it on Fridays. And they were like, you didn't see this?
Oof.
Oh, there was this whole thing. It was a TikTok trend, by the way. And people were going to the ATM machine and doing cash withdrawals. And because it was Friday after 5 p.m., the machine would not stop you from taking out like an unlimited amount of money, but then Monday it would catch it. So there was like 2 days over the weekend where people were like overdrafting their accounts by like thousands of dollars, getting thousands of dollars from these ATMs. And then the banks were like, yeah, we'll see you in court. Enjoy prison. This is felony larceny that you've just committed. Congratulations. Yeah, I mean, they have since close that little loophole, obviously, but yeah, they're gonna catch you.
Okay. I got it.
You got it.
I had to read that shit fast as fuck. All right, so the first one technically was more just an automated deposit machine. It took coins and cash and checks and shit. But the first one that like actually dispensed money, the way that it worked was basically you still had to go to a fucking teller. A teller would give you basically a check or like a carbon copy. It had fucking like the carbon 14 little fucking dots on it, and then you would go over and put it in the teller machine, and then it would give you money.
Oh, that's just...
So it was actually just an extra step.
Yeah.
And then they made cards, and then they made other shit, and that's how we got to where we are today. But yeah, it was basically just a fucking stupid way of getting your cash out for no fucking reason, I guess. But you know, back then, like it was like the '60s. Everybody was fascinated.
Well,
we were like,
you know what though?
we were like, look at power steering, and fucking people's minds melted and shit. You know what I mean?
This is called a seat belt.
Yeah, exactly.
Put it on.
Yeah,
it's a belt you wear while in a seat. Watch
they
it.
put ashtrays. They put ashtrays in the car so you could smoke with your kids in the car, and they were like, "This is brilliant, America." Baby,
so I can drink a little more now that I'm in a safety harness, right?
We've peaked.
I will say this, Alan. I'm going to make it make sense for everybody, though. But back then, all transactions were cash transactions, so that way the teller didn't have to leave their station and could continue to help people in line. And you could go over to the machine. The machine had the cash, so she didn't have to.
That makes some sense.
Literally go into the fucking. Like she's fucking Indiana Jones fucking cracking a code trying to get you fucking $400.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay. Did you know the first Mario Brothers video game was released the same year as Microsoft Word, 1983? I did not know that. I didn't know Microsoft Word was that old.
Wait, what was that statement? I wasn't listening.
The first Mario video game released the same year as Microsoft Word, which was 1983.
Damn.
The world was changing. Adam was born.
Yeah, my
Word
parents
was-
got me. Parents got me Microsoft Word for Christmas that year. And I was really disappointed. I really wanted Mario.
Makes sense.
But you can format all of your word processing.
Look at the, you can the tabs, all these caps lock. Oh my god.
Times New Roman. Look at it.
These
Beautiful.
fonts.
So did Mario come out before NES 1?
Well, there was the Super Mario's. It wasn't Super Mario. It was like the Mario Brothers, and it was like you were in like a sewer and you were like bopping turtles off of like a shelf. So there was that one. Mario did also appear in Donkey Kong, I believe, first before any of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually 83 in Japan
Okay.
is when
Do you think it's like, Nintendo Super Mario Brothers? That was what had to be
85. 85.
No.
Yeah. Yeah.
The first Nintendo came out, the Super Mario
80.
Brothers, in 1985.
Yeah. In America.
Oh,
It was
wow.
probably a little bit earlier.
In America, it was
North
1983.
America is 1985.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
And I'm looking at this one bottom. It says family computer. So in the Wikipedia page, you know, they'll usually have like a, if they can, they'll have an accompanied photo. It has the NES system, and then it's two of them. Top is the standard NES that you and I all know. Bottom, family computer, Famicom, main unit with hard controllers. It looks like a Canadian flag. Are you
I
guys
was going to
remember
say,
this?
it looks like a Canadian version of the...
Yeah, hold on. Adam, does this ring a bell for you at all? Hold it, hang tight here.
Yeah, that's
No.
the Japanese version, and that's what
Yeah, it's
that's
Japanese.
that's what the Super Nintendo is based on. Is that format? They said it was a lot better. The games, they didn't have to fucking blow into their cartridges and like fucking spit into them and
Oh.
do all sorts of lame
Yeah,
shit.
because they used floppy disks and not cartridges.
Yeah, we wanted solid.
Why did we get screwed on that one?
I don't think we got. I don't think it was. I think our choice was we wanted the cartridges in the bigger one.
Well, look, America tends to be a little slow. We were like, hey, you can use these very advanced 5-inch floppies. They're very thin, lots of memory on there. And then we were like, we don't believe that those things fit on there. Give us a giant piece of plastic, please. And we were like,
Yeah.
okay.
Like,
Actually,
give me
the
Japanese were like, are you
give me the Hummer, right?
Are you 100% certain we can just make this way easier? And we were like, nope, make the console bigger so that we can shove cartridges inside of it. And they
Well,
were like, all right, there you go.
I watched a documentary on this. Like, see, dipshits with lots of money, like they wanted the people that made Nintendo. They were like, well, Atari looks like this. Can you make your games look like this? And they're like, but they already work over there. And they're like, yeah, but I want them to look like this. Kind of like movie producers that when they're like, we want a big spider to fight Superman. Can you do that? And they're like, no, because Superman doesn't fight a spider. I got $100 million that says he does.
Yeah, like look at how much smaller that system is than the fucking
know.
regular Nintendo system.
I know.
Yeah.
I saw.
Do you guys remember the
It doesn't
go ahead,
require
no,
a
sorry.
fucking hood to fucking insert the cartridge.
I saw a great video of it was somebody like this is what we had to do to our games to get them to start blah blah blah, and it's like a Native American guy, and he's got the Legend of Zelda, and as he's blowing into it, it's playing the Legend of Zelda theme song. He's playing it like a lute. It's fucking awesome. Did you know humans were consuming alcohol more than 3,000 years before the wheel was invented? Alcohol, 7,000 BC. The wheel, 3,500 BC. You're too drunk to figure it out, man. Ain't got to drive nowhere. Got all the beer right here.
This is the early stages of drinking and driving right here.
Yeah.
You know, this is it. This is the origin.
Okay, Adam, you might know this. So isn't there like right of way, like with like vehicles and such? Isn't it
Yeah.
based on
Yes.
when they were invented? So like you have to yield cars have to yield to like livestock because livestock and horses were before cars. Cars have to yield to people in crosswalks because people were moving before. There's like a lineage. So, with that said, shouldn't I be allowed to be intoxicated while driving a vehicle because beer came before the wheel?
Yeah, well,
logical.
dinosaurs trump all. So if any dinosaurs come back, they get to walk wherever they want and drive wherever they want, as drunk as they want.
I don't think
right?
we have a
But
choice.
That's okay. So that's just want to lay that out there. But yeah, Mer, that doesn't make any.
Yeah, I know. Thank you. And and finally, your last fact in Ripley's Believe It or Not. Time. Warp. Did you know Power Rangers first appeared the same year Buckingham Palace opened its doors to the public? 1993.
So wait,
I didn't know-
Buckingham wasn't doing tours?
No.
They did a closed door. Wow.
Yeah, that kind of baffles me. It's like, no one, us peons didn't know what the inside of Buckingham Palace looked like until fucking the Power Rangers fucking blasted off a mountain and came together to fight a fucking giant squid monster.
That's not how that worked.
And,
but yeah.
okay, and what's her face had those cone titties.
Yeah, she did have the cone titties.
She had the Madonna from Vogue.
Rita did have those. You're right.
Dude, they I watched a documentary about the guy who did the Power Rangers. He bought that entire fucking thing from Japan.
Yeah.
There's only in each episode there's like 7 minutes of American acting. He saved so much money when he put that Bandai. He bought it from Bandai and
Bandai
just made a fucking shit ton of money. All that shit was just overdubbed. And what is it? If you watch the Yellow Ranger, she changes because like she was a dude in Japan, but it was a chick here. But like you'll notice that the Pink Ranger has a skirt, but the Yellow Ranger doesn't.
It's correct.
Check it out. And that, my friends, is a better fact than Buckingham Palace opening up in 1993. And that's your Fun Fact Friday.
Lovely. Well, shit. Adam, pleasure to have you on. We'll get you back in another couple of months. And if you see any of these stories that you think we should ask you about, you know what I mean? Any of these, let us know. Hit us up, send it our way. Sometimes I feel like we go through these and we're like, yeah, that'd be a good one for Adam. Come on the show for. And then it's like, it's in one ear and out the other. We forget it. We move on. These are stocked up for a while. And that Cookie Monster one, I was sitting on for what? I don't know, 4 months, Mer. It's like, yeah, come on. Let's talk about it. No, we're going to get Adam on. So anyway, appreciate it as always. Thank you for joining. Folks, tonight on This Week in Class Holes History, we got a humdinger for you. This comes back from 2021 on the same day, by the way, January 23rd, 3 years ago. Murr asked a hard-hitting question. Philosophical, yes. Irrelevant, possibly. Thought-provoking, debatable, and something you all should listen to and, ponder with you and you and yours, you and your family. And Murr asked the question, if you could have one deli meat as your bed sheet for the rest of your life, what would it be? We debated about it earlier. What did we think it was? I don't even remember. I don't remember what we concluded on. Was it?
As soon as Alan jumped on here, he said, "Oh, is that the one where we decided smoked turkey was the way to go?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I think it is." So that tells me, even 4 years later, that turkey of any kind is the way to go.
That's like I must have been drunk and must have been sick of debating it because I'll go to the grave with pastrami. That's my favorite deli meat of all time ever.
Yeah, but these are supposed to be bed sheets, right?
Right.
I don't know. That's a moist meat, bro. You could we did this. We did this already.
You may have talked me out of it quickly.
It's a moist
I'm
meat.
Like, all right.
Just saying.
I think I wonder if I got real sentimental, wondering if I had to give up pastrami. Like, if it's not my bed sheet, I can still eat it, right? Of course, you can eat it whenever you want.
Yeah,
all right, okay. I can part ways with it. All right, enjoy that, folks. We'll see you next week. Take her easy.
If your sheets had to be made of a deli meat, what meat would you want them to be made of?
Oh man, it's so good. A single deli meat, huh? It would probably be it would probably be some variation of boar's head turkey. or like a nice like Black Forest ham.
Okay.
I'm gonna go with ham. I've been on a ham kick recently. So ham, Black Forest ham. I think that'd be nice. Just a little nibble. There's some structure to the Black Forest ham with the black outline. You know what I mean?
The bark. The bark. Yeah.
Like a blanket would be nice. Like you know, there's seams. It's just a little bit more structure. I like it. Black Forest ham.
Now, my question for that though is like, ham's not necessarily like a breathable meat. If you get what I'm saying.
Are many meats breathable?
Has this been aerated?
If you had said cheeses, I might have picked the Swiss. my temperature regulated, but I feel like I'm going to be eating my way out of this one. So Black Forest ham, sir.
We'll come back to this. Wes, deli meat as a blanket. What are you choosing?
So okay. I have a very simple question. Is this a situation to where if I want to sleep comfortably, do I want to pick something that I don't want to eat, or do I just want to eat what's on top of me?
I mean, I guess that's up to you, really. It's a personal preference. I would assume that since this is going to be kind of like, you know, your daily blanket, you're probably going to want something that's comfortable and not necessarily appetizing.
Okay. And shit. If I go and say I need to buy new sheets, do the sheets that I buy just magically turn into this meat when they walk in through my front door?
I'm assuming it's kind of like the okay, you know how like Arby's roast beef, there's like that whole like theory that it's not actual beef, it's just kind of like this gelatin substance that they have to like cure. So it would just be a big slab that, you know, it would fit your bed.
I would go to the Arby's store to buy sheets. That's fine. Okay.
Yeah.
Or re-up. I mean, okay.
We got the sheets.
Jesus Christ. We're getting sued.
All locations just turned into a bedding showroom.
This here is edible roast beef. I would pull a Costanza. My favorite meat is pastrami, and that's you know, that's the sub that he was eating while he was having sex, and maybe I can one up old Georgie boy.
I just feel like as you twisted through the night, you would just wake up just like glistening in grease, though.
Well, I'd always have a thing of spicy mustard on my bedstand, just to plop on that fucker. That's actually most meats in general.
Oh yeah, in the Fox household, it's a mustard-loving family. Okay, Dewey, I know this is a very outside-the-box question, but if you had to pick a deli meat as your sheet, what would you choose?
I don't want to eat it.
Okay.
So I'm going with roast beef because it's not greasy.
That's true.
It's dry. And it's kind of, it would almost be like a weighted blanket.
Yeah, I like Dewey's answer. Though I will say, the only thing I will disagree with, same as Alan's, roast beef, not a very breathable meat.
Sorry.
I'm not putting it over my head.
As opposed to...
Yeah,
well, I
give
was
me a
going to go
breathable
with
meat.
I was going to go with turkey because, as we've discussed, turkey is already a dry meat, and I feel like once you've been under the turkey sheets for a half hour, 45 minutes, your body would essentially absorb a lot of the turkey moisture, and you know, it might be a little dry, it might be a little scratchy, but you wouldn't wake up in this like this glistening glaze of deli goo. Do we?
The smell though. The smell of turkey.
Yeah, but it stinks.
It's roast beef is shades towards neutral. It doesn't. I don't know. Turkey. The day after Thanksgiving, burping up turkey. We've all been there. That's awful. That's all that flows into my head thinking about laying under a turkey blanket.
It's a sentence no man ever thought they would utter.
That's all I ever think about when I lay under a turkey blanket.
About laying under a turkey blanket.
But I also don't feel like I'd be compelled to like want to eat my turkey blanket because turkey's not without other condiments or your lettuces or your tomatoes. Like I just don't feel like I'd be compelled, like in a drunken stupor, to want to eat my own blanket in the middle of the night. Whereas I feel like the rest of you might be munching down, especially pastrami, man.
Well, wasn't there a porno that you talked about where it was lettuce heads in a room?
That was me.
That was Alan.
Whoops. Sorry. I've had a couple Chardonnays.
The bed was actually made of pastrami. I forgot that part.
Breathable meats. All right, we'll figure this out. We'll get to the bottom of what a breathable meat is.
All right.